In less than a decade, Dubai's skyline has become iconic, as recognizable to many as those of Manhattan or Hong Kong. The city has been at the forefront of ambitious architectural design and some considerable feats of engineering. The icons have put Dubai on the innovative design map. But the passion for design here goes beyond the exteriors of the city's landmarks. In this programme, we take a closer look at some of the iconic and lesser-known projects, meet some well-established designers, and see how the passion for design has extended to art. The Burj Al Arab is to Dubai what the Opera House is to Sydney and the Eiffel Tower is to Paris. Built to look like the sail of an Arabian dhow, the hotel opened in 1999 and is the tallest all-suite hotel in the world. Hotel guests have a choice: come by car or come by helicopter. The first thing visitors see when they walk into the hotel are computer-controlled fountains, an impressive synchronized water display. The pillars of the Burj Al Arab's 180-metre-high atrium are decorated with gold, like much of the hotel. Its 202 suites are all 2 stories high. Lavish rooms on each floor are linked by a spiral staircase. And a private butler is assigned to every suite to make sure all requests are met. Another of Dubai's top landmarks is the Palm Jumeirah. At the tip of the man-made island sits yet another, Atlantis, the Palm. The hotel cost about $1.5 billion to build. In November 2008, the resort hosted an extravagant launch party. One of the party's biggest features, the largest fireworks display ever held anywhere. The interior is luxurious. As with the hotel's launch, extravagance is everywhere. The centerpiece of the lobby, a 9-meter-high glass sculpture. It's made of 3,000 hand-blown pieces of glass. The sculpture was designed by world-known glass sculptor Dale Chihuly. Chihuly directed its construction at his studio in the US. It took 2 years to build.
They go up about 8 or 9 feet, and they come all the way down to the reflecting pool, and we wanted to bring them down low so that kids could get a good look at the sea life pieces. This is, totally unique idea for us, and the piece will sit just above the water.
Once finished, the sculpture was dismantled, transported to Dubai and then reassembled piece by piece. Atlantis guests have a choice of unique rooms. The Lost Chambers suites have bedrooms with views of an 11 million litre aquarium filled with 275 species of fish. The attention to detail also applies to the hotel's restaurants. Giorgio Locatelli's restaurant Rondo Locatelli was designed by American Jeffrey Beers. The restaurant's focal point is its central oven.
As a restaurant designer, and at the heart of Italian cooking to me is the kitchen. And the kitchen always seems to be in the center of the home. As an architect, I always look at it that way. So Italian cooking for me is about the oven, it's about the center. And the pizza oven, of course, it has 4 different openings. It is the center of this restaurant, of the experience.
Italian materials have been used throughout the restaurant.
There's a variety of different materials, from different quartzite marbles to sandstones to limestone, Venetian plasters. We have different artistic painter treatments. Obviously, I'm very influenced by Italian colors. There's the red curtains, there's the red sort of mahogany-inspired millwork, the wheels, the wooden wheels on the ceiling. Giorgio's from northern Italy, and I wanted to speak to some of his upbringing.
Open for less than a year, the Address Hotel has quickly established itself as one of Dubai's leading hotels, popular with the city's residents and guests. It's the 36th tallest building in the world and the 6th tallest in Dubai. The top of its spires reach 306 metres. A spiral theme has been used throughout the hotel, reflecting the building's distinctive shape, beginning with the massive fountain in the forecourt. But it is the hotel's interior that really sets it apart. The job of designing it went to Dubai-based WA International.
They wanted us to do something unique, more contemporary, but still having a little bit of an Arabic feel, like the sand dunes, the mountains, and the seas, so in the colours and the textures of the interior. And then did a modern take on sort of Arabic detailing in the screening.
Claire and Helen were largely given free rein and a wide-ranging brief.
Most hotel projects, you have 4 or 5 room types, whereas here we had 44. So obviously that was a real challenge in planning.
They are drastically different as well. All the layout types, and the bathrooms are all very different. There's open plan bathrooms and bathtubs right in the middle of rooms. We custom designed every piece of furniture that came into these spaces as well. So we've oversized the sofas, we've used very luxurious fabrics. The color scheme is quite rich. It's, deep, dark timbers and walnuts, glass, stone. We've got polished marble floors throughout the whole hotel. We had a nice budget to work with as well, so we could, introduce some, wonderful big pieces into the spaces.
200 glass chandeliers coil throughout the roof space.
I think that was so interesting in this project was the lighting, because it was more sculptural. Because we had such great volumes of space and heights, we had these amazing 8-metre chandelier drops, but really contemporary blown glass.
We did have a wonderful client on this project, and they expected us to source from all over the world, and the glass especially as well.
Yeah.
Helen went to the Czech Republic a couple of times to ensure that all of the pendant lights, and we have over 200 in the hotel, are perfect.
I think that's one of the main features within the hotel that actually adds well, that's called
Just the
sparkle,
uniqueness,
that, you know, the
yeah.
glass and the lighting, and it was so much fun to design.
Beneath the address is another haven for luxury travellers, the Palace Hotel. Its courtyard is surrounded by ornate architecture. Middle Eastern heritage meets modern Dubai. The design is a mixture of classical and Arabian themes. Many of the pieces inside were collected from auction houses and antique markets in Morocco, Syria, and Egypt. This homage to the region's crafts runs throughout the hotel's 242 rooms and 81 suites. Coming up, American Perla Lici brings the Renaissance to Dubai. Inside a Palm Jumeirah villa, and art takes Dubai by storm. Welcome back. In part 2, more interiors and a blossoming art market. Perla Lici is known worldwide for her interior design. She opened her first office in Florida in 1990. More recently, she opened a branch in Dubai in response to the strong demand here for her services. Perla's designs have a strong Renaissance influence, and Emiratis have responded well to her signature interiors, which suit their taste.
There's something about the Renaissance period that really inspires me. The beauty of it, the music, it's that European flavor, and it inspires me probably mostly because of the detailing. If you notice the architecture in those days and even the art that was being produced, a lot of detail, and that's what people like, and that's what we're doing right now. The homes here are different in many ways because people are very into family and into entertaining in their homes. So to them, there are special rooms that really need to be all decked out. There's also a lot of cultural differences. So there's a lot of things that it's important to know when designing homes for locals as compared to when I'm doing a regular home in Florida or in Europe.
Perla's projects are not restricted to massive villas and mansions.
When you're dealing with smaller spaces, that's when you really have to get creative. By doing little tricks that we're well trained for by our eye. But yes, definitely, you can make it happen by balancing everything properly.
Perla Lici works with clients in most continents, and they generally have one thing in common.
You know, everybody wants a beautiful home. One day I could be sitting with just a nice lady with a nice little villa where she has this dream of making it so beautiful and we're able to do it. The same day, later, 3 hours, I'm sitting with a princess where she has the same needs. I find that ironic, I find it interesting, and that's part of where I am. That's part of the culture here. And I'm lucky and happy about it.
Welcome to Minal Badani's Palm Jumeirah villa. She says she's not a professional, but interior design is a serious passion. Her Riviera-style villa sits on one of the island's 17 fronds and has direct access to the beach.
This villa in particular, I think, typifies Dubai in its space, in the amount of the ocean being reflected off, in the amount of light that it brings through the villa. Here we tend to have a lot of sunshine, and I think, to me, I hope I've managed to do that in bringing a little bit of the outside inside.
The property's interior has been entirely remodelled. Minal's touch is everywhere, from contrasting colours to the creative use of glass to reflect light around the house. Family space is important, and Minal's favourite places in the house reflect that.
If I had to choose a piece or a wall of art, I would have to pick my wall of pictures, because to me that really signifies and symbolises a home. But aside from that, we have David Hockney in the bathroom, which is a favourite of my husband's, and I think all men seem to get attracted there quite a lot.
Minal draws on influences from around the world. This specially commissioned statue of the Hindu god Ganesh is a good example.
I've always wanted a 5.5-foot dancing Ganesh, but could I bring anything like that or find anything? No. So I had to set about trying to see if anybody would make me one. And we tend to frequent Kenya quite a lot, and we came across a gentleman who was happy to play with plaster of Paris, and he made me a little one, a dancing Ganesh, a little one, which was fantastic, but it wasn't big enough. So I said no, 5.5 foot, and it cost £100, which was fantastic. So that's luxury.
Dubai's boutiques have also shown innovation in interior design. A good example of this is Villa Moda. The company runs 11 boutiques in the Dubai International Financial District. It has brought a fresh perspective to the surroundings for its luxury shoppers.
The way we view shopping is to add a bit of theatrics into the shopping experience. So each of our stores is different. The design is always different. Our store here was actually the concept of Sheikh Majid, the founder. Basically, we've always tried to marry the East and West in what we do. We are an Eastern company, so we always like to draw in from our cultures and the heritage of the local market where we're in. The main feature of this store and the ladies' store here in the IFC is the Iranian walls, which are all handcrafted. And we've actually brought in artisans from Iran who built the Goldistan palaces. Everything that you see in terms of the walls is handmade and took months to complete. So it's a really special feature.
Villa Moda's intention is to create an environment that stimulates its customers as much as its products do.
For us at Villa Moda, design is a very important part of the retail experience. We don't like this cookie cutter sort of retail experience that you find in malls and in department stores. We want to create a unique environment in which the customer is interested in the store itself, as well as, of course, the collections.
Unlike most designer shops in Dubai, its boutiques are not in a mall.
I know I love to walk around in Paris and go shopping and visit a museum or a gallery, and this is something that's been created in the IFC Gate Village. I think for whether it's a tourist or someone who lives here locally, we've really brought a new dimension to Dubai as a luxury destination.
Dubai's intense interest in design has extended to fine art. The city is now a regional hub for artwork.
The Dubai art market has really exploded in the last, I would say, 4 to 5 years. When I came here 10 years ago, there was 1 or 2 art galleries operating. Now we have close to about 40 galleries. So you can see it's multiple since then.
Asma says Dubai is best described as a commercial centre for art in the region. It doesn't have the museums of cities like London, but galleries like Quadro in the city's financial district are making an impact.
Quadro is an art gallery based in the Dubai International Financial Centre. It's the largest gallery in Dubai. It's about 13,000 square feet. And they always have a mixed selection of artworks, not just from the region. It's a very international art gallery. It's almost like a mini museum. You come in and there's artworks from all over the world. Rahim Sharif is a Bahraini artist. He's quite well established. I think for a client who doesn't want to take the biggest of risks but still wants something that has a bit of edge to it, I think his works are quite interesting. The composition is very contemporary, although the style is quite modern. His use of colour I find interesting. Again, sort of new collectors always like to buy stuff that's colourful and sort of happy. Although the faces are quite moody, and so there's this kind of mix. The pinks are quite vibrant, they're quite unusual colours. They're not typically Arab or Middle Eastern colours, which is what I like, and this could be an artist who is from anywhere in the world. Betsabe is the exception to my rule, which is ideal in Middle Eastern art, because she is an artist from Mexico. She is a street artist, but interestingly, when I first saw her works, I actually thought she was from the Middle East because the motifs that she used are sort of Islamic or calligraphy. There's something about the works that seems to feel they're from this region. In this particular installation, she has used tires, which she hand carves with these motifs that to me look quite Islamic. They could also be rooted in Aztec. And then it looks like the tire has run down the wall and sort of made this print on the fabric and just sort of stopped suddenly here. And the way they're sort of lined up in rows like this, I think, has a really big impact. It's quite interesting how she's done that.
Another sign of the huge interest in art is the massive growth Christie's has seen. The auction house set up here in 2005. It's proven hugely popular with regional investors. Pieces such as this oil-on canvas by Indian artist Maqbool Fida Hussain, or Charles Hussein Zendarudi's Kaji Spirit, are examples of the work Christie's has on offer.
There's a strong demand from modern and contemporary art throughout the region. If you look at Christie's, the global spend of Middle Eastern clients in Christie's internationally, it's increased by around 400% since 2005, which shows the increasing interest by Middle Eastern clients.
In only a few years, Dubai has developed from a small city into an international brand. It has become known for risk-taking, cutting-edge design, and trend-setting ideas. The global recession has tempered the pace of development, but enthusiasm and appreciation for exciting design in Dubai remain strong.